Hard.
Yes, Military Order of Purple Heart.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. But you don't want to.
You don't think I can?
I mean, I know you can read. If it hurts your mouth or something, I'll be glad to do
Did
it.
you know it's Teacher Appreciation Week?
It is.
I'll say something back when it's my turn. Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
You got something to get teachers?
Yeah.
You don't want to get tired.
Okay. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. The Jackson County Board of Commissioners today, May the 4th, 2021. Before we get into the business portion of our meeting this evening, we do have 3 proclamations that we want to present as a board today, each one having a significance, honoring groups of individuals, both past and present, and also futuristic. But we want to honor these individuals and these movements. And so the first proclamation is going to be concerning our Law Enforcement Officers Week and Peace Officers Memorial Day. And I'm going to recognize our Commissioner Tom Stribling, who will present the proclamation today.
Okay, Law Enforcement Officers Week and Peace Officers Memorial Day. Whereas Congress and the President of the United States have designated a National Peace Officers Memorial Day during Law Enforcement Officers Week, and whereas the members of law enforcement agencies of Jackson County play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedom of the citizens of the county, and whereas members of law enforcement recognize their duty to serve the people of Jackson County by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence and disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression and intimidation. And whereas during Law Enforcement Officers Week and throughout the year, the County of Jackson recognizes and appreciates the critical contributions and sacrifices made by members of law enforcement at all levels and honors their courage and dedication. Now, therefore, the Jackson County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim May 9th through 15th, 2021 as Law Enforcement Officers Week and May 15th, 2021 as Peace Officers Memorial Day in Jackson County, and commend its observance to all citizens.
Okay, we've had the proclamation presented. Is there a motion to approve it?
I move to approve.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any question or discussion? Not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. I think we have members of our law enforcement community here with us. I saw Silva PD and the Jackson County Sheriff's Office and Western Carolina University, and North Carolina Highway Patrol. I missed anybody? Okay. Well, I think these folks are going to come up. We're going to do a photo op. They're going to build our character up.
Yeah.
Yes. That's right.
Are we in the picture?
Yeah.
I represent Buff Creek. We got our own little force up there.
Yes. I remember that.
I guess you're the photographer.
Am I finally?
Going right over left.
You don't need up front.
Come on up here.
Okay. All right, I'll come over here.
Can you get us all in? Okay, there we go.
Let me pull the gun in.
Say cheese, right?
All right, one more. You're done. Check to see. Yeah, we're good to go. All right. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Appreciate
Thank you.
you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Roger, for all you do.
Hey, Chairman, can I speak?
Yes, sir, you may speak. Anybody else would like to speak?
You
What?
need something, you holler at me.
Are we talking?
Yeah, sure. Say a few words.
No, all I want to just tell you, we really appreciate the support that we have from the county and our surrounding communities here. So one thing we're doing, and I would encourage any of our county employees or county leaders to participate as part of National Police Week on the 14th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. We're gonna be doing a blood drive right down here, and you get a free T-shirt, and $20 will be donated to a charity of choice, and we have chosen our annual Shop with a Cop event to help underprivileged children here in the county. So we're gonna be doing a blood drive down here on the 14th.
14th of
Anybody
May.
wants to participate?
Yeah.
I'll just leave that with you.
Absolutely, please do.
Have hot dogs, right?
We find you one. Hey, let me tell you, got some down there in the grill out back, they'll fix you hot dog, won't give you a grand.
Yeah, the captain will do it. I think he's cooking like that.
We don't have to twist his arm, he'll cook, but no, hey,
Thank you,
thank
Chief.
you.
Thank y'all.
Okay, our next proclamation is honoring older Americans. I'm gonna recognize Commissioner Woody.
And I believe they're
I
coming
believe they're
in.
coming in right now.
Yeah, they're coming in. All right.
Okay.
Proclamation honoring older Americans. Whereas Jackson County is home to an estimated 13,713 in the 55-plus population, and whereas the older adults in Jackson County are among millions helping to redefine aging in America. And whereas older adults are entitled to live healthier lives through a combination of independence and choice, and whereas older adults need the assistance of their communities to thrive, including the understanding and support from their friends and family. And whereas coordinated efforts to provide support on issues as diverse as housing, transportation, and healthcare can be vital to healthy aging and long-term living. And whereas the aging population is growing and offering more wisdom to succeeding generations. Now, therefore, the Jackson County Board of Commissioners proclaims the month of May as Older Americans Month, this 4th day of May, 2021.
Okay, having heard the proclamation concerning older Americans, what's the pleasure of the board?
As an older American, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
All right, Commissioner Jones has moved to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, any question or discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. And we have with us, I know, Eddie Wells with the Department on Aging, and so I'll let Eddie come forward. We'll just do a photo with Eddie so we can put it in the paper to
Yes.
honor our older Americans.
I promise you, Eddie, I tried to call you today, and I swear Verizon has been horrible this week. I need to get with you there. We need to get together.
You should be in the middle.
There you go.
Yeah, you, please.
need to be in it.
Oh, no. You-
Oh, yes, you do.
All right, here we go. One more.
You smiling?
They'll never know, will they?
Oh, yeah. All right, thank you. Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you, Eddie, for all you do. Thank you so much.
Eddie, would you like to say anything while you're here?
Just, we appreciate all the support. You know, we can't do it without you. Thanks so much.
Hey, Eddie, before you go, I was gonna mention my manager's report to the board, just at the briefly at the end. I haven't written anything, but if the board would entertain it, just maybe give them a little update. I mean, your goals are now to potentially reopen the
Yeah,
first couple of weeks of June.
Yeah, so we are, well, there's two things we're working on. One is getting approval from the health director, Shelley Caraway.
Yes.
She's kind of gave us the approval if the things change with the governor's order that's supposed to happen June 1st. But
Yes.
you may know too, we also had a major water leak in our building and we're waiting on the carpet to be installed. So that's the second thing we're trying to figure out now. So we'll have to get that installed. The Lewis Carpet is doing part of it, and then we have another outfit that's doing our exercise flooring. We think the exercise flooring should be done by the end of the week. The carpet's supposed to be coming in sometime in the next week to Lewis, and then they will give us a date. So we're not going to set anything until we know that for sure. But we're continuing to do things through drive-through, delivery. We're doing appointments in the building, so we're still serving everyone. Just it's been a little different than normal. So. But we hope that we're going to be able to open soon. We're anxious and ready to do that for sure.
Thank you
And that
so much.
includes both your congregate and adult daycare. Correct?
Yes, so when we open, it will be for a congregate dining. We may do a combination a little bit with drive-through meals on a couple days because in polling some of our seniors, they're not all ready to come back in the building yet. So we may do a little bit of a split with that. And then the adult day program will be coming back in. We'd be moving, trying to open up some of our activities, but some of that is still hinging that things happen June 1st the way we're expecting them to with the governor's order releasing some of the restrictions that are in place. So, yeah, we're hopeful. Hopefully it'll happen. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir. And finally, the last proclamation for today is the proclamation concerning a military order of the Purple Heart. We'll recognize Commissioner Dietz, who will present this proclamation.
There's one word there now. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Whereas the Purple Heart is the oldest decoration in present use and was initially created as the badge of military merit of General George Washington in 1782. And whereas the Purple Heart was the first American Service Award or decoration made available to the common soldier and is specifically awarded to any member of the United States Armed Services wounded or killed in combat with a declared enemy of the United States. And whereas the mission of the Military Order of Purple Heart, chartered by an act of Congress, is to foster an environment of goodwill among the combat wounded veteran members and their families, promote patriotism, support legislative initiatives, and most importantly, make sure we never forget. And whereas Jackson County residents have been engaged in most, if not all, of the wars against the declared enemy fought by the United States. And whereas Jackson County has numerous residents who have been awarded the Purple Heart Medal for wounds received in combat. And whereas Jackson County recognizes the commitment and increasing sacrifices required of the military families. And whereas Jackson County pledges its ongoing commitment to and support for the men and women who so honorably serve our nation. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Jackson County Board of Commissioners hereby declares Jackson County as a Purple Heart County, May the 4th, 2021.
Okay. Having heard the proclamation as presented by Commissioner Dietz, is there a motion to approve such?
I'd like to make a motion, please.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any question or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. And we also have with us in the audience Sheila Setzer and Wendy Smith, both of the Veterans Affairs Office. And if you ladies would like to come up, we'll do a photo as well.
No, you don't.
All right, we're good.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Chairman.
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You do.
You gonna say anything?
Yes.
Appreciate
And
you.
if I can, if you'd like
Well, I
to.
think you should.
Absolutely. Gives you the opportunity as well to say anything.
So we're still seeing our veterans as well. We've been nonstop since we reopened in May. We've had, some mailings and things, but we've had them come in and sit in front of us and stuff, and we meet with them outside on a pretty day, so they've enjoyed that. And then we got a call last week from Keller and Williams Real Estate Agency here. They have a day in May that they reserve. It's called Red Day for their community service. And so we're doing a bag lunch next Thursday, May the 13th, as a drive-through at the Department on Aging to give all veterans and any veterans, they don't have to make a reservation for this. They come till all the bag lunches are gone. And so they wanted to partner with our office, and we're trying to move forward when things open to restart the picnic, because there's not been a veterans picnic in more than 2 years. So we're hoping to get everything started back the way that it was. So we're eager. But we try to take care of everyone that we can. And I want to thank you all for your support and everything over the years that you've given my office. And I just, more than I can say, I appreciate you supporting my office and our veterans.
Thank you for what y'all do.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
yesterday, I got a call from a lady, and her mother's 90-some years old and lives in Michigan. And she was having a problem with a veteran's situation. And she said, somebody said I could help her. Well, I really couldn't help her, but I was trying to find somebody who could. And so the first person come up is, they call Sheila. And I don't know if she's called you
I
yet.
took care of her today.
And so I thought it was pretty awful, but we was asking this woman was calling us from Jackson County. She's here now. But simply some way, said nobody helped her at all in Michigan. And I told her to call Sheila. And it's good that we have people that care. I don't know how much Sheila could do for her, but I do know that she did anything she could. Thank you.
Well, she left happy. So.
I'm
And
very
relieved
happy.
and relaxed, so she left happy, so I took care of her today. So thank you for that.
Well, and I appreciate through COVID and all, you went ahead and celebrated the veterans dinner. It was drive-through, but it was a great celebration, and I know you're giving out honor quilts and just really serving our veterans. Thank
Well,
you.
with their mental health this year and stuff, and I couldn't leave them.
Yes.
I couldn't, because they were, it's a very different time for them, and their mental state has been compromised, and, and a lot of them are alone and don't have anyone to reach out to, and so that's something that I wanted to, to make sure that we were there for them. And so, and to still be honored, during this time, because a lot of them, are still, but I didn't want them to go unnoticed during this.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank God.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Thanks too.
Okay, that brings us to the approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda as presented tonight?
Just that Mr. Elders is working on his, helping arrange his daughter's wedding tonight. So I told him I'll try to take care of item number 1 for him and him enjoy the process of working on his daughter's wedding. So Mr. Elders won't be here.
With no other changes, then do I have a motion then that we approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any question or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Also, just for the record, for those that are watching on YouTube or who are Zooming in, watching the meeting or listening to their meeting this evening, Commissioner Jones is participating by telephone. So you won't see him on the screen or won't see his name on the screen, but he is participating by telephone and is on the line now and has been voting on these proclamations. So I just want to make sure that everyone was aware of that. We do have two sets of minutes. The minutes from the work session on April 13th and then the minutes of our regular meeting on April the 20th. After having had a chance to review those as distributed by the clerk, what's the pleasure of the board?
I move we approve them.
I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Any question or discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Next is administrative reports. I don't have anything to offer in the chairman's report. Commissioner Striblin, we'll start with you. Do you have anything to offer?
I just wanted to let everybody know that Saturday was my first drug awareness rally in Jackson County, and it's going to be one of many more to come. And it was a real success. We had quite a few good speakers come out, and a lot of them were ex-addicts that thank the good Lord have cleaned themselves up and are living a normal life now. But also I wanted to let y'all know I've also been in contact with Chip Hall on what we can see more of on this opioid problem that we got going on here and everywhere else. And I just think it's time that we really need to, instead of looking away, we need to bite this in the rear end before it gets out of control.
Okay, thank you for that. Commissioner Woody?
Yes, I participated in the Board of Health meeting last night, and we got some excellent reports from our health director, Shelley Caraway, and our vaccination rate. Of course, that can fluctuate from week to week, but it's very good in light of the rest of the counties in North Carolina. We're in the top tier as far as percentage, so we're very pleased about that. They are going, today was the last mass vaccination, and they're going to be going to appointments at the health department from now on. So those will be offered on Thursdays and Fridays, and you can make an appointment and get your vaccination with our health department staff. So the other thing is we did recognize Melissa McKnight, our deputy health director, who unfortunately is moving. Her husband has gotten a job in another place, and so we're losing her. We're very sad about that. She has served our county so well, and we all appreciate Melissa McKnight and the work that she's done so much.
Okay. Commissioner Deeds?
Yes, sir. We got these proclamations, the three of them, but if I'm not mistaken, I think this is Teacher Appreciation Week all over the country, I guess. And I would like to shout out a big thanks to all of our teachers, and probably the teachers of this county and this state and this country has gone through the toughest situation probably any teachers have ever gone through in the history of this country. And for them to hold up under this, do some of the things they do, and some of the things that you see special teachers have done to make their classes special is just real heartwarming. So in behalf of myself and all of our commissioners, we would thank all of our teachers here in the county for what they're doing and what they will be doing next few months to hopefully finally get us through this.
Absolutely. Very well said. Commissioner Jones, do you have any comments?
I don't have a comment, Mr. Chairman. My wife's dog seems to try to get the word in sideways, but I'll try and curtail that.
Well, if the dog wants to vote, let the dog vote. All right, we'll move on to the county manager's report. Mr. Adams.
Yes, sir.
should have the packets in front of you. So what you do have included in your packets is the standard monthly information regarding zoning permits and building permits. This is a couple weeks behind. I will bring the April report to you next meeting. Self-explanatory, you can see the planning department issued 4 commercial zoning permits and 1 renovation addition permit in the month of March, and code enforcement issued down here, issued 6 commercial permits and 1 renovation addition permit in the month of March. The next item is a discussion of our construction projects. Our Animal Rescue Center Green Energy Park project is 11% complete. Substantial completion is projected to be January of 2022. Demolition is complete. The contractors continue to work on grading and installation of storm sewer. Underground water, sewer, and electrical conduit lines have been installed. The contractor should begin working on retaining walls in the month of May. The animal rescue building itself should begin sometime in June or July. So unless the trees are grown over, Commissioner Woody, you'll start seeing the building. She has a view from her house of the construction site. So
Duke Power cut those trees so I can see it.
okay, and so she's helping us keep an eye on that
There you
project.
go.
And then what you do have included, you just have the most recent, latest field report. And that field report is just showing you the underground slab work lines. You can see for the building itself. You can see these are the conduit lines, electrical lines. As you scroll down, you can see just a little bit of grading that the architect shows, and then scrolling through, you can see that the blocks are out there for the retaining walls themselves. The next project to discuss is the Blue Ridge School Water and Sewer Project. This project is 80% complete. Substantial completion date is hopefully going to be June 25th, 2021. Kind of give you an idea, our contract date runs out like the first week of July. So if you recall, this was a tight time schedule. So hopefully they can continue forward, but I am glad that they're 80% complete. You can see, the major elements are there. When you go through and look at the progress report, you can just basically see a lot of the underground electrical work. The main things that they have left now is the sewer plant or sewer package plan is basically there. I'll scroll down and show you. You can see right here, this is the building for the water tanks. And so we're doing water and sewer, so we just have pressure pumps for the water. Then you scroll on down, you can see this is the package plant, pictures of it, that's basically out there now. So that's the good news, is that those are the major elements that we just weren't sure on the timeline when they get ordered, how long it would take for them to be delivered. And so that's what's allowed them to be 80% complete. A lot of what they have left now is really the electrical work, panel work, all of that type of work will be completed. So hopefully we'll get all completed by June 25th, and we'll get 100% fully reimbursed through the CDBG program. The last item to discuss is a new project. And we can just scroll through these pictures. I've put a timeline in your packets. This is in regards to the Fairview concession stand. We now, following through, the cost of this project will require the services of the architect. And, excuse me 1 second. And so ultimately, our architect has provided this timeline. Our goal is to construct during off-season. So the challenge that I went with the architect was ultimately you're trying to construct between September and April. So if you'll go down and it's hard to see on the screen, but if you go down and look at the timeline, you see schematic design and design development up top right there, 25 days. Well, the couple lines below that is just breaking the detail out. So you can see between this Friday and June 11th, we're doing schematic design and design development. And then if you go down to construction documents, the construction documents be 81 days, and that'll be from June 11th through October 2nd. And then if we scroll on down, we'll have a bid period. We'll also have a bid period starting in July through September, and then looking for construction to start in September and be completed by April. And then hopefully we'll have everything and be closed out by mid-April. And, you know, I just want to tell everybody this is going to be weather dependent. We're going to do the best we can to get in there and get out of everybody's way. But, you know, ultimately it'll be up to the element and the contractor and everything falling right for this construction timeline to occur. And so hopefully when it's all said and done, when the information when the facility gets designed and we get it all together, it'll be brought back to you with cost estimates. And then that way you'll have a little bit more detail of what we're looking at building and what we're looking to go out to bid for. So this is the first of many conversations about this project.
And it does include restrooms, is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah, what we'll do is, we'll look to get input from the stakeholders.
Sure.
And we'll look to get input. That'll be through Rusty's office, through Rusty and through Jake Buchanan, through the school system,
Sure.
and through our rec department. They will look to get input from the stakeholders, and then the way I've set this up with the architectural agreement, they're not running community meetings. It's up to our staff to pull together the information and bring it back and deliver it to the architect, so the architect can design the facility that we need. Yes, everything will be to code, everything. We're talking about basically knocking that one down and building
Yes,
a new facility
because it's a bad.
as discussed before. So all that detail will come back to you, hopefully after we get through the design and development. I'll come back and give you some information of what the design will look like. And then after we get the construction documents, I'll come back and give you estimated cost in a little bit more detail before we go to bid. The last thing, Commissioner Woody had mentioned, but I just went ahead and put the press release in there
Good.
from Melissa McKnight. And so basically it's everything that Commissioner Woody stated, that we have basically shut down our drive-through clinic. Today was the last day. Again, I want to express appreciation to everybody that's worked it. I was trying to get out there today. I wasn't able to. I called Todd and they were weathering the storms. It was an interesting day to be out for them. And again, they just showed, you know, their dedication by staying out there and finishing up. This was a second dose clinic. And so I do encourage everybody to get their shots. Go online, it's very simple. You'll be able to go to not only the health department, you still go to Western Carolina. You look, there's also pharmacies available. So I just encourage people to go online, register, and get an appointment and get your shots.
Can I just mention one other thing, just so that the board is aware? We did have a really productive discussion among the board, which includes Dr. Tritt and Dr. Cowan, a pharmacist, and then Jerry DeWeese, an engineer. And they all had some very good input about how we can encourage overcome reluctance for vaccination. And so Director Caraway is going to follow through on some of those suggestions they made, and I think it will be a real positive thing.
Mr. Chairman, the only thing is I do just remind everybody to look at your announcements at the bottom there, and just reminder that our work session next Tuesday, May 11th, is actually going to be at the Community Services Center at the Health Department meeting at 1 p.m. And so we do have these other meetings. I'm going to put the budget calendar. If you recall, we're going to come back and give you any updates, any changes of the budget request at next Tuesday's meeting. I'm also going to put the budget calendar on the agenda for discussion, just so that you can go back and review your dates. And I know that there may or may not be some changes, and so we'll discuss that Tuesday.
Okay.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions for the
Now,
manager?
let me anything that maybe I'm not aware of, but we've done advertising wise to, people maybe commercially to encourage people to get the vaccine.
Yeah, there's,
Facebook, a lot of media every media outlet, they put things out.
Billboards.
I don't know if we've done billboards. I know that on the billboard, they gave us some free time. Allison did, if you saw the wash, wait, wear types of
Yes.
signs. I'm not sure if I've seen vaccination.
I think there was one with
Was
vaccination.
there vaccination?
I think
on it?
so.
Yeah.
Mhm. And had the number.
Brian and I talked to 3 individuals last week that was absolutely wasn't gonna get a vaccine.
Mhm.
And 2 of them got the virus now.
Oh,
2 of those 3 failed.
Well, I hope they are okay. Dr. Cowan is a pharmacist, and he was saying he's had lengthy conversations with people who question the science, and he explained the science, you know, the efficacy of the vaccine, but there's also some practical things that Director Caraway was saying that she'd gotten some information that people tend to trust their primary physician more than outside people. And so they're going to do, and they're right now reaching out to the primary care doctors in Jackson County and asking them to encourage their patients when they come in for just whatever and say, have you been vaccinated and are you willing to consider it? And oftentimes they find that because they trust that person and come to them regularly, you know, they have a relationship with their doctor, that was a very effective way. So they're really looking at some of these strategies to increase our.
And I do know that they've reached out to larger employers and also
Yes.
out to larger employers. There has been significant effort. That doesn't mean we don't continue to.
No.
But I do know the health department's done several things to attempt to reach out and go out to certain groups.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, next is informal comments. I don't think we had anybody signed up, do we have any? Okay. So we'll next move into our new business, and first up is the fireworks display request, and our county manager is going to take care of that item. So that's item 1 under new business.
So as you should have in your packets the email from Mr. Elders stating that they received an application for a fireworks display for a wedding at Camp Mary, is that Wood?
Yeah.
Yes.
Camp Mary Wood in Sapphire on the evening of Saturday, May 15th. As you're aware, all fireworks applications must be approved by the board. I did get a separate email from Mr. Elder saying that that he's cleared it with Chief Dillard for that area, and he will be doing the inspections himself that night.
The chief will?
No, Mr. Elder.
Tony.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion to approve the Camp Marywood fireworks display.
Okay, have a motion, then is there a second?
Second.
Any question or discussion? Hearing none.
I'm just wondering if maybe, I hope it's just not too dry. I mean, I know we got a lot of rain here, but that's still in another 11, 12 days, right? That gives the woods plenty of time to dry up. Did they take that into consideration if it's too dry, the fire chief?
Yeah.
He
Oh,
does?
yes. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they have to be on standby with the fire truck.
Okay, all right.
And if the North Carolina Forest Service has issued a red flag warning, then they will have
And
it.
it's off, yeah, okay.
Other questions or comments? If not, then Madam Clerk, if you call the roll, please.
Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Woody,
Yes.
Commissioner Stribley,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Chairman McNamee.
Yes, motion carries. Next is item 2. This is the pay plan revisions that's being recommended to the board. Is Ms. Breedlove?
She just said slipped in.
Oh, here she is. Good evening.
Good evening. I was asked to make a revision to the pay plan to recognize particular indirect experiences, direct experience on occasion. And attachment A outlines the changes that I made. Essentially, an entity that participates in the North Carolina Teachers and State Employees Retirement System, or with a federally recognized Indian tribe or federal agency, is considered as indirect experience. However, on occasion, this indirect experience may be viewed as direct experience in the salary calculation when the management team, which consists of the HR director, finance director, and county manager, take into account the level of expert knowledge, skills, and abilities the new hire acquired through such prior employment that may be relative to the position for which they're being hired to fill. So that's for your consideration that we review that.
Any questions, Ms. Breedlove? Is there a motion to approve this suggested change?
I move we approve.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other questions or comments? Madam Clerk, you call the roll, please.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Striblin,
Yes.
Commissioner Woody,
Yes.
Commissioner Deeds,
Yes.
Chairman Knight.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Next is item 3, the Jcpc certification and funding plan. I recognize Ms. Baker, who works with that committee.
Yes, thank you. And since this is the first time we've done this with Commissioner Striblin here, I'll give a little bit of explanation about Juvenile Crime Prevention Council. This is money that comes from the state through the Department of Public Safety, and it comes to Jackson County through the Jackson County Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, what we all refer to as Jcpc.
Okay.
And as you can see here, that amount that the county receives is $128,439. And we get that money on a couple conditions. And one is that you, as commissioners, approve the county funding plan, which includes a match. The match here, I think this says $50,000. It's actually a little bit higher than that, but it doesn't cost you any more money. I got an updated one just this week after we'd already posted this for $54,920 because Mountain Mediation realized they needed to include the rent. They have space in this building, and they include that as an in-kind donation from the county as well. So that shows a higher amount for the in-kind. So this is the amount. So the county does match a percentage, and this is the county match here. And that way it goes, the funds go, and then the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, on which you'll see you have several, the commissioners have several appointments, and Commissioner Deep sits on that council, decides how this money is spent through an RFP process. And these are the same agencies that we've had received this money in a somewhat fashion over the last several years. And that is Heights, who has a Compass program, Inside Out program, and now the CORE program. They actually do 3 programs. They include restitution now, along with their programs for youth that are in the school that have had issues and may be suspended. They give them something to do. They do a lot of really great programs. And then the Mountain Mediation Services, who's now doing teen court. So a lot of this is going to go to teen court. And then Hawthorne Heights, if I can come down here to last year's to show you the difference with last year's Hawthorne Heights, their money was left pending initially down here because they were in flux. If you remember last year, they had Children's Hope Alliance, who owns Hawthorne Heights, which is a runaway youth shelter, had given up Hawthorne Heights. So I think once the pandemic hit, they were already having trouble staffing and just said they couldn't do it anymore. Fortunately, some of the individuals that worked at Hawthorne Heights didn't let that go and got with others and got up and running again. And so last year we actually did end up allocating those funds to them as they got up and running. And this year now, back up to the top, they're part of the regular approval process because they're back and they're still waiting their final accreditation, but they're ready to go and they'll be seeing kids this year. So what you do by approving this is approve that match for the allocation, and then you authorize the your chairman to sign the certification standards. And you can look through these. It's the same standards we have every year. These don't really change. There is one difference this year, and that is that they are allowing now up to 2-year funding approval. We had only one of our programs apply for the 2-year funding approval, and that was Heights. Hawthorne Heights wasn't eligible because they're so new, and Mount Mediation chose not to, but Heights did approve, although this will come back to you next year for approval, but they won't have to go through the application process again. So it saves them some time and money. And then the final page here is a list of the Jcpc members and what role they serve and who they are. And I can answer any questions about that.
Any questions about this application, of this funding plan and certification that's been presented?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Jones,
Yes.
when I've spent 10 years on the Juvenile Council Prevention Juvenile Crime Prevention Council Board, and as vice chair, and that 20% match has always been the amount given. Is that correct, Ms. Baker? It was still 20%?
Yes, it's 20%, and then it gets off a little bit when you include the in-kind. In addition to that, but yes, it's still a 20% match.
And I recall that. It's been 5 years, but what always amazed me was the cost of one of our youth if they have to go to juvenile detention. The cost per individual to the entity or state is $100,000. And when you put in a $50,000 or $54,000 request just to keep a half a child out of that detention center in great programming with churches, organizations, I just can't speak more highly of it and support it.
Would you like to put that in the form of a motion to approve it?
Yes, sir, I would.
All right. Have a motion, then is there a second?
Second.
Any other questions or discussion, comments?
50,000, that's not taxpayer dollars, is it?
Yeah.
Or is that taxpayer dollars?
Our match is.
Or matches, okay. All right.
Any other comments or questions? Madam Clerk, if you call the roll, please.
Commissioner Dean,
Yes.
Commissioner Woody,
Yes.
Commissioner Striblin,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Chairman McNamee.
Yes, motion carries.
Now, Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
we're very aware of a lot of things that Ms. Baker does. But she puts a lot of work into this. One thing she does is keep me informed when these meetings are. But I'll tell you what, this is a pretty complicated thing with a lot of people involved, a lot of in the county and out of the county, and it's hard. I know it's hard to keep up, and she does an excellent job with this. These things that most of us don't even know we know she's doing it, but I don't think any of us are aware of how much work she has to put into this, big part of this charity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, and when, the name crime prevention, I think this is one of those programs that really does do that, because we know that when young people are incarcerated, oftentimes they're with older people who have been involved in crime, and the influences of that can be such a serious problem. And this gives these young people a chance to learn job skills, finish their education and get a lot of supervision that they've lacked in their lives earlier. So it's a wonderful program.
You're welcome. It's a program that deserve the thanks. They do wonderful
Yes.
things.
I do have one question that's not about this money or anything, but at one point we approved the opportunity for Heights to purchase that condemned building at the road, Old Scotts Creek or Old Ash,
Yes.
Chipper Curve and,
Allen, yeah.
Yes,
Allen Street,
yeah.
yes.
did that ever go through or do you know?
It's still pending its title problems.
Oh, okay.
From the
Okay.
tax foreclosure, it's got a lot of title problems, and
Okay.
we've got somebody working through that now. There are a lot of errors involved, we're still working on that. So
Okay.
it's still pending, and the hope is that it'll be resolved.
Yeah. Well, because they had plans to use that for some educational endeavors, and plus it would really improve the look of that area. It's kind of overgrown.
Okay, moving on to the appointment section. Agriculture Advisory Board, we have now got 4 appointments we need to make. So the list has grown.
Great.
And I think all, if we wait long enough, we'll be appointing all these people.
If I can update you on one thing with this.
Yes, Ms.
You know,
Baker, please.
I worked with your clerk here, and we've made a suggestion to Jane and Barry that maybe they want to look at changing the ordinance, and they're gonna discuss that and possibly come back to you with a request to make it easier to fill these positions. So they're looking at that.
Okay, so we should probably just hold off until we hear back from them.
If you have somebody, of course, that's fine, we can
Yeah.
take the appointment, but if not, we're working to help.
Okay. All right, well, unless somebody's just got a name to throw out there, we'll hold on. Cashiers Planning Council, there's 3 seats.
If I may, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Our next, meeting, commissioner meeting, I'll have 3 names to submit.
Okay,
And they'll have their volunteer forms in and approved, etc.
okay. We'll carry that one over too.
Dog agree.
The dog agrees.
He approves.
Okay, press conference, I see Beth for sure. Is there anyone else?
She's there.
Beth, do you have any questions? Okay, if not, then if you do, just email us or give me a call. We do have need for closed session for personnel, 143, 318, 11A6 for legal, 143, 318, 11A3, and then criminal investigation, 143, 318, 11A7. We have a motion to go into closed session concerning those 3 items.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we'll give good night.